the Earth's crust were formed. They are the primary igneous rocks, which are usually not found today. Igneous rocks are generally harder and granular. There are no layers in igneous rocks. Fossils are not found in igneous rocks. The formation of igneous rocks takes place beneath and above the surface of the Earth. Rocks formed by the cooling of molten matter beneath the Earth's surface are called intrusive igneous rocks. Granite and gabbro are the main examples of these rocks. The intrusive rocks are thus crystalline rocks. Sometimes, the molten matter oozes out through cracks in the Earth's crust and spreads on the surface, forming extrusive igneous rocks. Gabbro, obsidian, basalt etc. are examples of extrusive igneous rocks. A very large area of the Deccan Plateau consists of basalt rocks. These rocks contain silica from 40 to 80%, others are feldspar, magnesium and iron etc. Other examples of igneous rocks are granite, pumice stone, basalt and gabbro. Metamorphic rocks granite gneiss. Gabbro syenite basalt batholith, large body of igneous rock formed beneath Earth's surface by the intrusion and solidification of it is commonly composed of coarse-grained rocks E.G, granite or granodiorite, with a surface exposure of 100 square kilometer, 40 square miles, or larger. A well-known is located in the Sierra Nevada range of California. The Idaho batholith is a geologic formation that covers 90% of the Boise National Forest. Massive granitic of the Coast Range batholith, North America is bigger Idaho batholith. Stocks, igneous intrusion-shaped plutons are called stocks or batholiths, depending on their sizes. Larger than 100 square kilometers in area are termed while those of lesser size are called stocks. Laccolith, in geology, any of a type of intrusion that has split apart two strata, resulting a dome-like structure. The floor of the structure is usually. A laccolith is often smaller than a stock, usually less than 16 kilometers, 10 miles, in diameter. The thickness of ranges from hundreds of meters to a few thousand lopolith, igneous intrusion associated with a structural with contacts that are parallel to the bedding of the rocks. In an ideal example, the enclosing sediments and below the lopolith dip inward from all sides the center, so that the lopolith is concave upward. Faccolith, a concordant lens-shaped pluton that occupies the crest of an anticline or trough of a dike, also called dike or geological dike, in geology, or sheet-like igneous body that is often oriented 914, vertically or steeply inclined to the bedding of pre-existing intruded rocks. Similar bodies oriented parallel to the bedding of the enclosing rocks are called sills. Sill, a relatively thin tabular concordant body intruded along bedding planes. Sedimentary rocks, they are formed by the deposition, sedimentation and lithification of sediments over a long period of time. As layers over layers get deposited, over a period of time, unified sedimentary rocks are formed on account of the tremendous pressure exerted by the layers above. Sometimes the remains of plants, dead animals etc. are found in the deposited material. Such fossil-containing sedimentary rocks are useful for studying life on Earth. Sandstone, limestone, shale are some examples of sedimentary rocks. Limestone is white as well as black. Sandstone is dull white, pink, bright red or sometimes black. Sedimentary rocks limestone, sandstone, shale, clay, coal, quartzite is a hard, non-foliated metamorphic rock which was originally pure quartz sandstone. Sandstone is converted into quartzite through heating and pressure usually related to tectonic compression within orogenic belts. Metamorphic rocks. The nature of igneous and sedimentary rocks changes due to the effects of tremendous heat or pressure, and new transformed rocks, called metamorphic rocks, are formed. Minerals in the rocks get restructured on account of heat and pressure. This brings about a change in the original formation of the rocks. Some examples of metamorphic rocks formed from igneous and sedimentary rocks. Type of rock: original rock, metamorphic rock, igneous granite, gneiss, igneous basalt, hornblende, sedimentary limestone, marble, sedimentary coal, graphite, coal, sedimentary sandstone, quartzite, sedimentary shale, clay, slate, micaceous. Earthquakes and volcanoes. Earthquakes: the sudden tremors or shaking of the Earth's crust is called an earthquake. When a part of the Earth's surface moves backward and forward or up and down, quakes, and these are called the earthquake. The sizes. The world Earth's they are crust are caused called is made plates. By up the of most movements different of the parts earthquakes of the various plates in tectonism. Special branch of geology, it deals with seismology, the study of earthquake. 915, Lucent Richter scale, and Mercalli scale, are the instruments to measure record the magnitude and the intensity of an earthquake respectively. Seismic waves: the place where the seismic waves originate beneath the Earth's surface is called the focus of the earthquake. The epicenter is that point on the ground surface which is closest to the focus. Seismic waves are recorded on the seismograph. Seismic waves are mainly of three types: 1. Primary waves, 2. Secondary waves, and 3. Surface or long waves. NASA launched first ever InSight, interior exploration using seismic investigation, geodesy and heat transport, mission, on 5 May 2018, to explore the deep interior of Mars. It was launched by United Launch Alliance, ULA, Atlas V rocket from Space Launch Complex 2 at Vandenberg Air Force Base in California. The earthquake zones in India: the Indian plate is moving from south to north. That is why there are earthquakes in the Himalayan region. Earthquakes occur in Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Tripura, Manipur, Mizoram, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Jammu and Kashmir, the northwestern region of Uttar Pradesh, the northern region of Bihar etc. During the last few years, there have been several earthquakes of varying intensities in Maharashtra and Gujarat. Volcanic activity: magma or molten rock is formed beneath the ground surface due to various reasons. This molten rock ruptures the ground and pours out. Sometimes, it cools down beneath the ground surface instead of pouring out. All these activities are called volcanic activities. Volcanic activities have been taking place since times immemorial. There are 3 types of volcanoes: 1 active volcanoes, 2 dormant volcanoes, 3 extinct volcanoes. Volcanic eruptions: the pouring out of the magma or molten rock through ground surface is called a volcanic eruption. At the time of eruption, the magma, steam, fragments of rock, dust and gaseous substances are ejected with great force from under the ground surface through a pipe-like passage. The opening of this pipe on the Earth's surface is known as the vent, which forms a crater. The lava which is thrown into the sky during an eruption falls to the ground in the form of solid fragments. Dark clouds gather in the sky and it begins to rain heavily, giving the volcanic rise to hot ash mud and flows. Dust mixes with the rainwater. Types: volcanic. Of volcanic eruptions, the eruptions manner are classified of eruption. Ejection into of the 2 magma types. Depending: 1. Eruption on 2. Fissure. Central 915, central eruption. This shape formed type dew hills. Of 2 eruption, some central examples: eruption gives rise of R2 volcanic metric ton conical Kilimanjaro mountains dome. In Africa, the Fujiyama in Japan and the Vesuvius and Mount Etna in Italy. It is basically poured acidic lava. Fissure eruption. These eruptions take place at a very slow speed. Since this lava is more fluid, it spreads over longer distances. The lava cools down on the ground over a period of time, increasing the thickness of the surface in that area. Basalt plateaus are formed due to these eruptions. Basalt plateaus are also found in Brazil in South America and Saudi Arabia in West Asia and Deccan Plateau in India. In Maharashtra, the fertile black regor soil has been formed from basalt rocks. It is also called black cotton soil. The opening of exploded volcano is of different types. Some important types are: crater. This is funnel or cup-shaped opening at the top of the volcanic cone. It gets filled up with rainwater, then it forms a crater lake. E.G. Lonar Lake in Bulgana district, Maharashtra. Sometimes many small craters are formed in a single crater. This take place when the exposition was of less intensity than that of pre-existing crater. These are known as nested craters, e.g. the 3 small craters of mountain, Philippines. Caldera. This is widened form of crater which is formed due to depression of the crater or expansion of volcanic mouth or vent due to successive eruptions. Depending on their intensity and duration, volcanic eruptions can create calderas as much as 100 kilometers, 62 miles, wide. Metric ton Aso of Japan is an example of caldera. The Tuba caldera on the Indonesian island of Sumatra is the newest resurgent caldera. Classification on the basis of periodicity of eruption. Active volcanoes. These volcanoes constantly eject volcanic lavas, gases, ashes and fragmental materials. It is estimated that there are more than 500 active volcanoes in the world. Etna and Stromboli are the most significant examples of this category. Stromboli is known as the lighthouse of the Mediterranean. Other volcanoes of this category are Cotopaxi of Ecuador, world's highest active volcano, Metric ton Erebus of Antarctica, the only active volcano of the continent, and the active volcano in the barren island of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, India. Dormant volcanoes. These volcanoes become quiet after their eruptions for some time and there is no indication for future eruptions, but suddenly they erupt very violently and cause enormous damage to human health and wealth. Important examples of this category are Vesuvius, Italy, Fujiyama, Japan, Krakatau, Indonesia, and dormant volcanoes in the Nakondam Island, now believed to be active after tsunami of December 2004, Andaman and Nicobar. Dead or extinct volcanoes. These are those volcanoes which have not erupted since thousands of years. 916. And there is no indication of future eruption as well. Main examples of this category are Metric ton Kenya and Metric ton Kilimanjaro, eastern part of Africa, Chimborazo, Ecuador, Popa, Myanmar, Damavand, Iran, and Kohi Sultan, Pakistan, and Aconcagua in Andes Mountains. World distribution of volcanoes. The explanation of volcanic regions of the world, based on the plate tectonic theory, is the most accepted one. According to this theory, destructive plate boundaries account for about 80% of the volcanic regions, constructive plate margins for about 15% of the volcanic regions, and remaining are in the interior parts of the plates which are not yet explained by the plate tectonic theory. Major volcanoes of the world. S. Volcano. Ojos del Saldo, Cotopaxi, Chimborazo, Poposi, Pate, Mauna Loa, Metric ton Cameroon, Metric ton Erebus, Metric ton Etna, Metric ton Peli, Hekla, Metric ton Vesuvius, Stromboli, Krakatoa, Metric ton Katmai, Metric ton Rainier. Metric ton Shasta, country Argentina, Chile, Ecuador, Mexico, Hawaii Island, Cameroon, Central Africa, Ross Island, Antarctica, Sicily, Italy, Martinique Island, France, Iceland, Gulf of Naples, Compania, Italy, Stromboli Island, Sicily, Italy, Indonesia, Alaska, US. Washington, US, California, US, Metric ton. Fujisan, Fujiyama, Japan, Tal Luzon Island, Philippines, Metric ton Pinatubo, Philippines, Metric ton Mayon, Luzon Island, Philippines, Damavand, Iran, Koai Sultan, Balochistan, Pakistan, Metric ton Popa or Popa Hill, Myanmar, Metric ton Elbrus, Russia, Kilimanjaro, Tanzania, Metric ton Kenya, landforms. Mainly there are 3 types of landforms: mountains, plains. The height of mountains are over 600 m and have peaks. On the basis of origin there are 4 types: mountains, block mountains, residual mountains, and fold mountains. Mountains. The middle part of such mountains is lower and the parts on both the sides are higher. The middle lower portion is called as Rift Valley. The longest rift valley is the valley of the Jordan River. Black Forest, Germany, Vindhyachal and Satpura, India, Salt Range, Pakistan, are some examples of block mountains. 917. Residual mountains. Such mountains are formed as a result of weathering. Example Saravali, Nilgiri, Parasnath, Hills of Rajmahal, India, Sierra, Spain. Accumulated mountains. These are formed due to accumulation of sand, soil, rocks, lava etc. on the earth's crust, e.g. sand dunes. Fold mountains. These are formed because of the folds in the rocks due to internal motions of the earth. These are wave-like mountains which have numerous peaks and lows, e.g. Himalayas, Ural, Alps, Rockies, Andes etc. Plateaus. Plateaus are extensive upland areas characterized by flat and rough top surface and steep walls, which rise above the neighboring ground surface at least for 300 m. Some plateaus having more than average height. Tibetan Plateau 16,000 feet, Bolivian Plateau 11,800 feet, Colombian Plateau 7,800 feet. Generally the height of plateau ranges from 300 to 500 feet. Intermountainous plateaus, plateaus formed between mountain, example Tibetan Plateau. Mountain step plateaus, the flat region between a plain and the base of a mountain. Continental plateaus, these are formed when the laccolith inside the earth comes to the surface due to weathering, e.g. the Southern Plateau. Bank plateaus, these are the plateaus on the banks of the oceans. Dome-like plateaus, these are formed due to the movement of man and animals on the surface, e.g. Ramgar Plateau. Major plateau of the world. Plateau location country Asia Minor, Anatolia, Turkey, Meseta, Iberian Peninsula, Spain, Alaska, Yukon, USA. Great Basin U.S.A. Greenland, Greenland Island. Anatolia, Turkey, Chiapas, South Mexico, Colombian U.S.A. Colorado U.S.A. Tibetan Plateau. Tibet Plains. Plains can be defined as flat areas with low height, below 500 feet. Weathered plains, the plains formed due to weathering by rivers, glaciers, winds etc. Lowest plains, these are formed by the soil and sands brought by winds. Karst plains, plains formed due to the weathering of limestone. Erosional plains, plains near the river banks formed by river erosion. 918. Glacial plains, marshy plains formed due to the deposition of ice. Desert plains, these are formed as a result of the flow of rivers. Deposition plains, large plains are formed due to the silt brought by the rivers. Such plains are plains of Ganga, Sutlej, Mississippi, Havanho. Forests. They are of the following types. Tropical evergreen rainforests. Such forests are found in the equatorial and the tropical regions with more than 200 cms annual rainfall. The leaves of trees in such forests are very wide. Redwood, palm etc. Tropical semi-deciduous forests. Such forests receive rainfall less than 150 cms. Sagwan, sal, bamboo etc. are found in such forests. Temperate mixed forests. Such forests are a mixture of trees and shrubs. Oaks, oak etc. are the major trees of these forests. Coniferous forests or taiga, these are evergreen forests. The trees, in these forests, have straight trunk, conical shape with relatively short branches and small needle-like leaves. Example pine, fir etc. Tundra forests, such forests are covered with snow. Only mosses, a few slages and lichens grow here in the summers. This type of vegetation is chiefly confined to the northern hemisphere, e.g. in Eurasia, North America and Greenland coast. Mountainous forests, vegetation varies according to altitude. Note, India State of Forest Report 2019 see page 138, pastures, or grasslands, they can be divided into two types, I. Tropical pastures and 2. Temperate pastures. Tropical pastures, they have different names in different countries. Savanne in Africa, Campos in Brazil, Llanos in Venezuela and Colombia. Temperate pastures, they are known by the following names: prairies in USA and Canada, pampas in Argentina, veld in South Africa, rangelands or downs in Australia and New Zealand, steppes in Eurasia, Ukraine, Russia. Landforms created by the river system. V-shaped valley. A river flows with a greater velocity in the mountainous region and big, pointed fragments of rock also flow with a great speed along with the water. The riverbed is scarred and down-cutting starts, ultimately giving rise to a deep valley with steep sides. This valley is called a V-shaped valley. These valleys are found in mountainous regions. A deep and narrow valley with steep sides is called a gorge. The gorge of the river Ulhas in Thane district in Balaghat, Maharashtra near and Jabalpur. The gorge in Madhya of the river Pradesh Narmada are well known. There are many gorges in the Himalayas. 919. Waterfall. If there are both hard, resistant, and soft, less resistant, rocks in takeovers of the river, the less resistant rock is eroded faster. The resistant rock does not erode so easily. Cut is why the river falls with a great speed from a cliff-like part of hard rock. This is called a waterfall. The Niagara Falls on the Niagara River is in North America. Potholes in areas where the riverbed consists of hard rock, the stones carried along with the river water due to the whirling impact of water. That is why holes of various shapes are formed in the rocky riverbed. Such holes are called potholes. Many potholes are observed in the riverbed of the Kukadi, Krishna, Godavari etc. in Maharashtra. Meanders and oxbow lakes. Meanders are formed by lateral erosion. As the erosion increases over a period of time, the meanders in the river again starts flowing in a straight line. The loop previously formed then separates from the main course of the river. Water accumulates in this separated part. As this loop resembles an oxbow, it is called oxbow lake. It formed due to impounding of water in the abandoned meander loop. Fan-shaped plains in the region near the source of a river. The tributaries joining the main river deposit materials carried by them on the banks of the main river. This deposition creates fan-like plains. They are called fan-shaped plains or alluvial fans. Floodplains. When, during the floods, the river water overflows its banks and spreads in the surrounding areas, the silt carried by the water gets deposited in those areas. This creates flat plains on both the banks of the river. Plains created by this depositional work done during floods are called floodplains. The Gangetic Plain is a floodplain. Natural levees. When a river is overflooded, its water crosses its banks. At that time, the speed of the water is reduced, and the pebbles and stones carried by the river get deposited near the banks. This high wall of deposited sediments is called a natural levee or natural embankment. Such levees are found on the banks of the Mississippi, the Wangho, etc., southern bank of River Ganga. Delta. Delta was coined by Herodotus, the father of history, after the Greek letter delta, I, because of the deltoid shape at the mouth of the Nile. A delta is a landform that is formed at the mouth of a river where that river flows into an ocean, sea, estuary, lake, reservoir, flat arid area or another river. Deltas are formed from the deposition of the sediment carried by the river as the flow leaves the mouth of the 920 Geograph River. Over long periods of time, this deposition builds the characteristic geographic pattern of a river delta. Delta river region meets a sea or a lake. The silt carried by the river is deposited on the bed near its mouth. The area near the mouth of the river gets gradually filled up by this deposition and gets raised, causing an obstruction for the river to flow in a single channel. It, therefore, splits into two branches and meets the sea. Landforms created by the actions of river erosion, deposition, V-shaped valley, fan-shaped plains, gorge, flood plains, potholes, delta, waterfall, natural levees. Over a period of time, there is deposition also at the mouth of these branches. In this manner, the main course of the river gets split into a network of small channels. These subchannels are called distributaries. A triangular region of innumerable such distributaries is formed near the mouth of the river. This region is called the delta region. There are delta regions near the vent, opening, of the rivers Godavari, Ganga, Nile, Mississippi, etc. Deltas are very fertile. The largest delta of the world is Ganges Delta, Sundarban Delta, 350 kilometers. Glacier, a mass of ice sliding down the slope from a snow-clad region is called a glacier. On an average, a glacier moves 1 to 15 meters a day. While a glacier is moving, the friction of the ice at the bottom slows down the movement of the bottom layers. There are two main types of glaciers, one continental glacier and two alpine glacier. Continental glacier, an extensive sheet of ice spreading across a vast region, sometimes begins to move due to the pressure of the ice. This moving sheet of ice is called a continental glacier. Such glaciers are seen in Antarctica and Greenland. Alpine or mountain glacier, there are snowfield in the mountainous regions of the Himalayas, the Alps, the Andes, the Rocky Mountains, etc. The ice accumulating in these areas starts sliding down the slopes. This mass of ice sliding down from the mountains is called a mountain glacier or an alpine glacier. Iceberg blocks of ice break off from the continental glaciers and float away into the sea. A block of ice floating in the sea is called an iceberg. These icebergs are huge in size. The density of ice being slightly less than that of water, a very little portion of an iceberg is seen above the water and the rest of it is submerged underwater. Landforms of glaciation. Various landforms are created on account of the transportation, erosion and depositional work of a glacier. Let us consider the major landforms thus created. 920, 127. When the snow from the mountain peaks slides, it gets deposited in a hollow, if there is one on any side of the peak. The accumulated snow starts sliding down the slope. This causes friction at the floor and at the sides of the hollow, thus enlarging it further. This is called a cirque. The back wall of a cirque is like a high cliff and the floor is concave and huge in size. The total shape resembles an armchair. When a glacier melts completely, water accumulates in the cirque and forms a lake which is known as tarn. Fjord, where the lower end of the trough is drowned by the sea, it forms a deep steep side inlet called fjord, as on the Norwegian and South Chilean coasts. U-shaped valley. When a glacier is flowing through a valley in a mountainous region, the sides of the valley get eroded. Ice causes friction on the sides of the valley. As the erosion of the sides is greater than that of the floor, a valley is formed with vertical sides and a wide floor. This valley is called a U-shaped valley. Hanging valley. In the mountainous region, many tributaries join the main glacier. The quantity of ice in a tributary is comparatively smaller. Hence, it causes less friction. The valley of a tributary is at a higher level than a valley of the main glacier. The valley of the tributary appears to be hanging. That is why, such a valley is called a hanging valley. Moraine. The material transported and deposited by a glacier is known as moraine. Moraines are made up of pieces of rocks that are shattered by frost action and are brought down the valley. Moraines are of the following types: 1 lateral moraine, 2 medial moraine, 3 terminal moraine and 4 ground moraines. After a glacier has melted, different landforms of deposition are seen. The oval-shaped hills of lesser height are called drumlins. Zigzag hills, with many steep slopes, made up of long stretches of sand and gravel are called eskers. Landforms created by the action of wind mushroom rock. The wind blowing in desert regions erodes the rock near the ground surface to a great extent. At the same time, the upper part of the rock gets eroded to a lesser extent. As this is a continuous process, the foot of the rock becomes narrow. The top portion of the rock then looks like an umbrella. This landform is called a mushroom rock. Sand dunes. Sand gets transported from one place to another along with the wind. 921. At a spot where the wind meets an obstruction are formed or where out of the speed of the wind reduces, dunes. The sand which gets deposited. The side of the dune facing the wind has a gentle slope and the opposite side has a steep slope. Because of the slow speed of the wind, the sand on the gentle slope gets carried to the top and comes down the steep slope on the other side. Sand dunes gradually move forward in this manner. Burkhan, the fine sand particles carried by the wind get deposited when the speed of the wind is reduced, forming crescent-shaped dunes. Such hills are called burkas. Loess is a soil finer than sand. Loess is a silt transported by the wind from the desert regions and deposited much further away. Loess transported from the desert regions of Central Asia has been deposited in layers in China. The plain they form is known as the Loess Plain. Groundwater. Some water from the rainfall the Rajiv Gandhi National received on the Earth's groundwater training surface seeps through the and Research Institute ground. Nagwatri is located at Raipur, Chhattisgarh. This water trickles down until it reaches an impervious rock. Water accumulated under the ground surface in this manner is called groundwater. Some rocks on the Earth's surface are porous and some have cracks or joints. Water seeps in through these pores or joints. Groundwater gushes out in the form of springs. Landforms created by the actions of groundwater sinkholes. Water on the ground surface seeps through limestone. Some portion of the limestone dissolves in that water. If this process takes place continuously, it makes holes in these rocks. As this process continues over a number of years, these holes get enlarged. These holes are called sinkholes. In limestone region, water goes very deep through sinkholes. If there is a layer of impervious and hard rock underneath, water flows horizontally on the impervious rock instead of going deeper. Hence, soft rocks get eroded and a cave is formed. Stalactites and stalagmites inside the cave created by groundwater under the seeping ground surface through in the limestone roof. This region, water contains water is calcium levase carbonate. As carbonate, this the deposition seeping scene it contains, growing water continues evaporates, is from deposited to grow the roof some vary on towards slowly. The of the caves the hence calcium floored roof a column escaladus a stalactite. 922. The evaporates accumulates roof water this column then leaving dripping over starts a period behind. On growing the of calcium time floor from upwards of carbonate the floor is cave called to. Which also the a column which grows stalagmite and stalagmites features of karst topography. Stalactites are district. The karst observed in region Bastar in of the district former Perner of Yugoslavia Chhattisgarh taluka of now Ahmednagar Serbia also and in Montenegro. Landforms created by the actions of sea waves sea, cliff Hebesio of Theroxen the coast get eroded because of the impact of the ocean waves and notches develop in these rocks. The crest of the rock overhangs the notch. These notches in the rocks gradually extend landwards over a period of time. Then the crest falls and a steep cliff, which has receded away from the sea is formed. Sea cave, rocks on the coast have many cracks. They become wider and wider with the impact of the waves, creating small caves. They are called sea caves. Such sea cliffs and sea caves are observed at Srivangan, Ratnagiri, Malvan, Bengal etc. Beach the fine sand and other material that flows along with the waves get deposited in a direction parallel to the sea coast. This deposition of sand is called a beach. There are extensive beaches in the coastal regions of the states of Maharashtra, Goa, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Odisha and West Bengal in India and in other countries like Bangladesh and Canada. Sandbar, a deposition of sand which results in a long, narrow embankment in the sea near the coast is called a sandbar. Lagoon, a shallow lake is formed between the sand and the sea coast. It is called a lagoon. Such a lake is called Kayal in Kerala. The physical Indian features subcontinent, position, extent and location of the subcontinent mainland India, between and 97, 25 e Pakistan, 8, 4 n of longitudes and the Bangladesh, 37, 6 in Indian latitudes subcontinent, Nepal and Bhutan between comparison extends 68, 7 e if included, the sixth then country it starts off from this subcontinent 6, n latitude. Sri Lanka, the Tropic of Cancer, 2312, n, passes through the middle of India. Size kilometer, total kilometer and i.e. extent area India of the 32,87,263 subcontinent Indian SQ subcontinent kilometer, Pakistan is 44.97 lakhs 96,095 lakh dollar, 54 Bangladesh Bhutan 46,500 SQ 1,48,393 kilometers and SQ Sri kilometer, Lanka Nepal 65,610 1,47,181 SQ kilometer SQ from 923, north to south this subcontinent stretches over 3,200 kilometers and from east to west it is 2,933 kilometers. 82, 30 e longitude, also known as Standard Meridian of India, helps in calculating the Indian Standard Time, IST, which is 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of the Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. This very meridian, 8212 e, dictates time in Sri Lanka and Nepal also. Position and extent of India and its locational advantage. India forms part of the large continental landmass of Eurasia. It is located on one of the peninsulas of southern Asia. The country extends from Kashmir in north to Kanyakumari in the south. The Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal are situated on western and eastern side of peninsular India respectively. The latitudinal extent of the country is from 8.4 north to 37.6 north. The Tropic of Cancer, 2312 n, which passes through the middle of the country measures from 68.7 e to 97.25 e. The location of the country is in the northern and the eastern hemispheres. The importance of location of India is that it is located on the world's major sea routes. Due to its location, India has maritime contacts with Southwest Asia and Africa on the west and Southeast Asia in the east. Its location has given India an advantage of the route of the Suez Canal for trade with North America and Europe. Size of India, in terms of area and population. India is the 7th largest country, in terms of area, in the world. Total area is about 3.28 million sq kilometer. The area of India is nearly equal to the area of the continent of Europe excluding Russia. India is 8 times as large as Japan. India ranks as second largest country in terms of population, next to China only. No continent of the world except Asia has a larger population than that of India. India contains about 1/6 of the total population of the world. Physical divisions of the Indian subcontinent. A chain of high mountains radiate out from the Pamir Knot which lies just in the north of India. In these mountains the Hindu Kush, the Sulayman and the Kirthar in the west and the Himalayas in the east separate the Indian subcontinent from rest of Asia. Pir Panjal Range. Pir Panjal mountain range, in the northern Indian subcontinent, is part of the western, middle, Himalayas, the western outlier of the vast Himalayas system. Source: www.britannica.com. Indian subcontinent can be divided into following physical divisions: the Great Mountain Wall of the North, the Great Northern Plains, the Great Peninsular Plateau, the Coastal Plains, the Great Indian Desert, the Island Groups. 923. The Great Mountain Wall of the North, the Himalayas, the highest mountain wall of the world, are situated on the northern boundary of India like an arc. From west to east the Himalayas are 2,500 kilometers long. The average breadth of the Himalayas is between 250 to 400 kilometers. Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world, lies in these mountains in Nepal. Division of the Himalayas. The Himalayas consist of 3 parallel mountain ranges: I, the Greater Himalayas; 2, the Lesser Himalayas; and 3, the Outer Himalayas. The Greater Himalayas, or Himadri, this is the loftiest of the 3 ranges of Himalayas. Mount Everest lies in this range. These snow-covered mountains give birth to many glaciers. The Ganga originates from this glacier. Major passes of India. Passes: State Karakoram, Jammu Kashmir, Mana Uttarakhand, Zoji La Ladakh, Niti Uttarakhand, Pir Panjal, Jammu Kashmir, Nathu La Sikkim, Banihal Jammu Kashmir, Jelep La Sikkim, Burzil Jammu Kashmir, Bondila Arunachal Pradesh, Shipki La Himachal Pradesh, Yanggap Arunachal Pradesh, Rohtan La Himachal Pradesh, Diffu Arunachal Pradesh, Baralacha La Himachal Pradesh, Manipur, Lipu Lake Uttarakhand. The Lesser Himalayas, or the Himachal Himalayas, south of the Greater Himalayas, the range also lies parallel to it from west to east. This range is 60 to 80 kilometers wide and its average height ranges between 3,500 to 4,500 meters. Tourist centers like Shimla, Mussoorie and Nainital are situated in this range. Heights of major mountain peaks in India. Peaks elevation. Peaks elevation, in MTS. In MTS. 8611 Masher Brum, East, 7821 Broad Peak 8051 Kemet 7756 Dastagil SAR 7885 Sasa Kangari I 7672 Height in meters above mean sea level situated in Pak occupied Kashmir, POK. 1 Masher Brum is also known as K-1, Source, World Atlas, the Outer Himalayas, or Shivaliks. This is the southernmost and the third parallel range of the Himalayas with an average height of 900 to 1200 meters. Its breadth is only 10 to 50 kilometers. Shivalik range is broader in the west. Local division of Himalayas. Local division length expansion: Punjab Himalaya 560 kilometers middle of Indus and Sutlej rivers. Kumaon Himalaya 320 kilometers middle of Sutlej and Black rivers. 925. Local division length expansion. Nepal Himalaya 800 kilometers middle of Black and Teesta rivers. Assam Himalaya 720 kilometers middle of Teesta and Dihang rivers. The Great Northern Plains. The Northern Plains are divided into 3 subdivisions. These are the Punjab and Haryana Plains, the Ganga Plains and the Brahmaputra Valley. The Ganga Plains form the largest lowland drained by the Ganga and its tributaries. The Yamuna is the most important tributary of the Ganga. Namami Gange. According to India 2021, the Namami Gange Integrated Ganga Conservation Mission program was launched in 2015. This was at an indicative cost of 20,000 crores as an umbrella program with an aim to integrate previous and currently ongoing projects and new initiatives planned as its part. In 2016, through the River Ganga Rejuvenation, Protection and Management Authorities Order 2016, National Ganga River Basin Authority (NGRBA) has been replaced with National Ganga Council for Rejuvenation, Protection and Management of River Ganga. National Mission for Clean Ganga (NMCG) has also been converted to an authority. According to India 2020, Namami Gange program is an initiative of Ministry of Jal Shakti, comprising making villages on the bank of River Ganga ODF and interventions sealing with solid and liquid waste management. All 4,470 villages located across 52 districts of Uttarakhand, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal have since been made ODF with active help of state governments. Now the ministry has taken up 24 villages on the bank of River Ganga to transform them as Ganga Grams in accordance with NMCG. The Gagra, the Gandak, the Kosi etc. are other tributaries of the Ganga. The Son, which flows northward, and the Damodar are tributaries of the Ganga while the Chambal and the Betwa are tributaries of the Yamuna from the peninsular plateau. The Ganga plain has an extremely gentle slope. Parts of the plain are subject to floods in the rainy season. In the lower course, the Ganga divides itself into tributaries to form a large delta along with the Brahmaputra. The Punjab and Haryana plains represent a part of the Indus basin. A low watershed separates these plains from the Ganga plains. The Great Peninsular Plateau Unmudi or Anaimudi, 2,695 m, situated in Sahyadri range is the highest peak of the peninsula. The Deccan Plateau includes the area to the south of the Vindhyas. The western edge of the plateau rises steeply from the Arabian Sea to form the Western Ghats, which includes the Sahyadri. The Deccan Plateau slopes gently towards the east. The surface of the plateau is dissected into a rolling upland by a number of rivers. The elevation ranges from 300 to 900 meters. The eastern edge of the plateau is known as the Eastern Chats. The northwestern region of the Deccan Plateau is covered by nearly horizontal sheets of lava. This region is called Deccan Trap region. The Deccan Plateau is drained by many long east-flowing rivers. These rivers originate in the Western Ghats, flow towards the east and enter the Bay of Bengal. 925. 1 Knowledge. The Godavari, the Mahandi, the Krishna and the Koveri are the major rivers that have built deltas along the coast. The Narmada and the Tapti rivers are west-flowing and do not have deltas. Both the rivers enter the Arabian Sea along the Gujarat coast. Narmada and Son rivers originate at Amrutnathak. Major plateaus: Marwar Upland, Central Highland, Bundelkhand, Malwa Plateau, Bagelkhand, Chotanagpur Plateau, Hajaribagh Plateau, Ranchi Plateau and Rajmahal Hills, Meghalaya Plateau, Deccan Plateau, Maharashtra Plateau, Karnataka Plateau, Telangana Plateau, Chhattisgarh Plain. The coastal plains, narrow strips of flat land on eastern and western coasts, are known as the East Coastal Plain and the West Coastal Plain respectively. The West Coastal Plain, this plain which lies between the Arabian Sea and the Western Ghats, spreads from Gujarat in the north to Kanyakumari in the south. It is broader in the north and narrower in the south. This uneven plain has been dissected by many fast-flowing rivers. Its northern part from Gujarat to Goa is called Konkan, while southern part from Goa to Kanyakumari is known as Malabar. Several lagoons, saltwater lakes separated from the main sea by sandbars and spits, are found on the coastal plain. Important ports developed on its coast from north to south are Kandala, Mumbai, New Jawahar Port Mumbai, Murmagaon, Mangalore and Cochin. The East Coastal Plain. This broader coastal plain spreads along the Bay of Bengal from Odisha in the north to Kanyakumari in the south. Its northern part is known as Northern Sarkar Plains and the southern part is called Coromandel Coast. Rivers like Mahandi, Godavari, Krishna and Koveri form deltas on this plain. This coast is famous for rice cultivation. A large number of lagoons are also found here. Chilka and Pulicat lakes are fine examples of lagoons on our east coast. The Great Indian Desert, it lies to the west of the Aravalli range. It extends over major part of Rajasthan and Sindh in Pakistan. This desert does not get much rain as the Aravalli range run parallel to the southwestern monsoon winds. It is in the rain shadow area of the Bay of Bengal current. Lake Sambar is found here. The island groups Lakshadweep is a group of 36 coral islands in the Arabian Sea. It is located 300 kilometers to the east of the coast of Kerala. Andaman and Nicobar Islands are a group of about 57 islands. Most of these islands are uninhabited. Andaman and Nicobar Islands, of volcanic origin, are separated by the 10-degree channel because 10 latitude passes through this place. 926. Mountain peaks of Andaman and Nicobar: Peak location: height Saddle Peak, North Andaman 738 m, Mount Diavolone, Middle Andaman 515 m, Mount Koyob, South Andaman 460 m, Mount Harait, South Andaman 450 m, Mount Tulia, Great Nicobar 442 m. Climatic diversity in the Indian subcontinent. Due to the vastness of the country and a variety of relief features, there are regional variations in the climate of India. The interior of the country, especially in the north, has a continental type of climate. The coastal areas have a more equable climate. In mountainous areas, altitude determines the climate. There is a great deal of variation in the amount of annual rainfall. In June, the highest temperature in Rajasthan may go up to 55 C. But, in Dras and Kargil, the night temperature in January may go down to -45 C to 50 C. Mawasyanram and Cherrapunji in Meghalaya have an annual rainfall of 11,873 mm, 467 in, and 11,430 mm, 450 in, respectively. But, in the Thar Desert the annual rainfall is less than 500 mm, 20 in. Along the Malabar coast, Kerala, the annual range of temperature is about 3 C. But, it is 20 C in Hisar, Ambala and other parts of the interior. Soil resources of the Indian subcontinent. Soil forms the upper layer of the Earth's crust capable of supporting life. It is made up of loose rock materials and humus. The soil-forming processes are mainly influenced by the parent rock, climate, vegetation and animal life. Importance of soil resources. Soil is an extremely important resource, especially in agricultural countries like India, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Most food items, like rice, wheat, pulses, fruits and vegetables and much of our clothing are derived from the soil directly or indirectly. Soil also gives us firewood, timber, rubber, fibers, etc. Food like milk, meat and eggs are obtained indirectly from the soil. Flowers, grass, plants and trees are also grown out of soil. Soil erosion and its types. Removal of top layer of soil when it is exposed to wind and rain is easily blown or washed away. This condition is known as soil erosion. Basically, soil cover is removed by two powerful agents. 1. Running water and 2. Wind. Types of soil found in India. Indian Council of Agricultural Research, ICAR, divides Indian soils into 8 groups: A. Alluvial soil, B. Black soil, C. Red soil, D. Laterites and lateritic soil, E. Arid and desert soil, F. Saline and alkaline soil, G. Forest soil, H. Peaty and other organic soil. However, Indian soils are generally divided into 4 broad types: 1. Alluvial soils, 2. Regor soils, 3. Red soils and 4. Laterite soils. 927. This is the most important and widespread category. It covers 40% of the land area. In fact, the entire northern plains are made up of these soils. They have been brought down and deposited by three great Himalayan rivers Satluj, Ganga and Brahmaputra and their tributaries. Through a narrow corridor in Rajasthan they extend to the plains of Gujarat. They are common in eastern coastal plains and in the deltas of Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Crops grown, suitable for Kharif and Rabi crops like cereals, cottons, oilseeds and sugarcane. The lower Ganga Brahmaputra valley is useful for jute cultivation. Regor or black soils, these soils are of volcanic origin. These soils are black in color and are also known as black soils. Since they are ideal for growing cotton, they are also called black cotton soils, in addition to their normal nomenclature of Regor soils. These soils are most typical of the Deccan Trap, basalt, region spread over northwest Deccan Plateau and are made up of lava flows. They cover the plateaus of Maharashtra, Saurashtra, Malwa and southern Madhya Pradesh and extend eastward in the south along the Godavari and Krishna valleys. Crops grown, cotton, jowar, wheat, sugarcane, linseed, gram, fruit and vegetable. Red soils formed by weathering of crystalline and metamorphic mixture of clay and sand. These soils are developed on old crystalline igneous rocks under moderate to heavy rainfall conditions. These are red in color because of their high iron oxide, FeO, content. These are deficient in phosphoric acid, organic matter and nitrogenous material. Red soils cover the eastern part of the peninsular region comprising Chotanagpur Plateau, Odisha, Orissa, eastern Chhattisgarh, Telangana, the Nilgiris and Tamil Nadu Plateau. These extend northwards in the west along the Konkan coast of Maharashtra. Crops grown, wheat, rice, millets, pulses. Laterite soils. The laterite soils are formed due to leaching weathering of lateritic rocks in high temperatures and heavy rainfall with alternate dry and wet period. They are found along the edge of plateau in the east covering small parts of Tamil Nadu, Odisha and a small part of Chotanagpur in the north and Meghalaya in the northeast. Laterite soils are red in color with a high content of iron oxides, poor in nitrogen and lime. Crops grown, though unsuitable for agriculture due to high content of acidity and inability to retain moisture. Tea, coffee, rubber, cinchona, cashew, coconut, arecanut are grown on laterite soil. 928, 132 Lucent Geography arid and desert soil, region, NW India. Covers entire area of the West Aravallis in Rajasthan and parts of Haryana, Punjab and Gujarat. Characteristics, rich in phosphates and calcium but deficient in nitrogen and humus. Crops grown, fertile if irrigated e.g. Ganganagar area of Rajasthan, wheat basket of Rajasthan. Kinds of agriculture: sericulture, silk farming, apiculture, beekeeping, rearing honeybees, pisciculture, fish farming, floriculture, flower farming. Viticulture, cultivation of grapes. Vermiculture, cultivation of earthworms. Pomology, fruit farming, olericulture, vegetable farming, horticulture, garden cultivation and management. Aeroponics, growing plants in an air or mist environment without the use of soil, or an aggregate medium. Hydroponics, growing plants without soil by instead using mineral nutrient solutions in a water solvent. Origin of some crops: crop origin, paddy, India and Indonesia, barley, China, Mid America, tour Africa, wheat, Mid Asia, soya bean, China, tobacco, South America, mung, India, rubber, South America, Brazil, ragi, jowar, India, black gram, urad, India, tea, China, lentil, masoor, China, coffee, Ethiopia, guava, America, potato, Peru, tomato, Mexico, sugarcane, India. Bajra, Africa. Agriculture in India according to census 2011, nearly 1. Organic state. 55% of the total population of Sikkim is the first. The country is engaged in organic state of India. Agriculture and allied activities. It provides food to the second biggest population and the biggest population of cattle in the world. Our agro-based industries are fully dependent on raw material provided by agriculture. Agriculture with its allied activities contributes 17.4% to the country's GVA, gross value added. Types of agriculture in India. Subsistence farming. In this type of agriculture, farmers work hard to grow enough food to survive only. In this type of farming the produce is consumed mainly by farmer and his family. There remains no surplus to sell in the market. Soilless agriculture. Hydroponics. Soilless agriculture refers to hydroponics, which is a subset of hydroculture and is a method of growing plants using mineral nutrient solutions in water, without soil. Terrestrial plants may be grown with their roots in the mineral solution only. 929. Knowledge. Mixed farming. The combination of agriculture and pastoral farming is called mixed farming. In this type of farming, cultivation of crops and rearing of animals are done together on the same farm. Shifting cultivation. This is a primitive form of agriculture, in which a plot of land is cultivated for a few years and then is deserted. This slash and burn method of farming is carried on in jungles of northeastern part of India, e.g. in Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, etc. A plot of land is cleared for cultivation. As the yield decreases after 2 or 3 years, the plot is abandoned and a fresh clearing is made. Extensive farming. This is a system of farming in which the cultivator uses a limited amount of labor and capital on relatively large area. This type of agriculture is practiced in countries where population size is small and land is enough. Here, per acre yield is low but overall production is in surplus due to less population. Agriculture is done with the help of machines. Intensive farming. This is a system of farming in which the cultivator uses large amount of labor and capital on a relatively small area. In countries where the size of population is big but land is less, this type of farming is done. Annually 2 or 3 crops are grown due to the demand of food for the large size of population. Agriculture is done with the help of manual labor. Plantation agriculture. In this type of agriculture, trees or bushes are planted on huge estates. A single crop like rubber, sugarcane, coffee, tea or banana is grown. These crops are major items of export. Approved GM crops in India. The approved genetically modified GM Crops for commercial cultivation in India are cotton and soya bean. Source: ISA 3 crop seasons in India. 1 Rabi. This season starts after the rainy season. Sowing begins in September-October and harvesting takes place in February-March. Wheat, barley, pulses and some oil seeds are grown in the Rabi season. 2 Kharif. The Kharif season begins with the onset of the monsoons in June-July. The crop grows in the rainy season and harvesting takes place after the retreat of monsoon in September-October. Rice, maize, millets, groundnuts, cotton and jute are grown in the Kharif season. 3 Zayad. This is the summer season for growing crops which remain till April, May and June. Products are mainly vegetables and fruits. 9:30. Green Revolution. The increase in agriculture productivity of cereals that has taken place since the 1960s mainly as a result of introduction of high-yielding varieties of wheat and rice and use of fertilizers, machines and irrigation etc. is known as Green Revolution. Green Revolution has made us self-sufficient in food production. This has not only saved our much precious foreign exchange but has also made us self-reliant. But Green Revolution has proved more beneficial to rich farmers only because it involves a lot of investment. Minerals in India. Geological Survey of India, HQ, Kolkata, Indian Bureau of Mines, HQ, Nagpur, Oil and Natural Gas Commission ONGC, HQ, Dehradun, Mineral Research Corporation Limited MRCL, HQ, Nagpur, National Mineral Development Corporation NMDC 931. HQ, Hyderabad, National Aluminium Company Limited and Mining and Geology Department of different states are conducting survey, observation and researches on minerals in India. Garhwal region is the richest in metallic minerals. The top 5 mineral producing states of India are Odisha, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. Non-refined petroleum is found in the sedimentary rocks of Tertiary age. Systematic oil exploration and production started in India after the establishment of ONGC in 1956. The resources of natural gas in India is found in the Kambai Basin, Krishna Godavari Basin, Kovri, Kaveri Basin and Vindhya Basin. The largest producer of crude oil and natural gas in India is Gujarat. 9:34. Petroleum Assam, Digboi, Naharkatia, Hugraijan, Moran, Suma River Valley, Gujarat, mainly in Gulf of Khambat, Ankaleshwar but extended up to Navgao, Kosamba, Olpad, Dholka, Mehsana, Kalol etc., Maharashtra, Mumbai High Region. Iron ore Odisha, Gurumahizeni, Sulapet, Badampahar in Mayurbhanj, Singhbhum district of Jharkhand, Kiruburu mines in and Bonai mines in Sundargarh district of Odisha. The extracts of iron ore are found in Beladila of Bastar district in Chhattisgarh, Sandur Hills at Bellary, Hospet region and Baba Budan Hills and Kudremukh in Chikmagalur district in Karnataka, Kudapah and Nellore districts in Andhra Pradesh. The major regions of magnetite ores are Kudremukh, Karnataka, Salem, Tamil Nadu, Kozhikode, Kerala, Maharashtra and Goa. In 2017-18 Odisha is the leading producer of iron ore accounting for 102 metric ton of total production, followed by Chhattisgarh, 34 metric ton, Karnataka, 28 metric ton, and Jharkhand, 21 metric ton. Odisha, Sundargarh, Sambalpur, Bolangir, Keonjhar, Kalahandi, Koraput, Maharashtra, Nagpur, Ratnagiri, Bandara, Madhya Pradesh, Balaghat, Chindwara, Karnataka, Shimoga, Bellary, Chitradurg, Bijapur, Andhra Pradesh, Srikakulam, Vishakhapatnam, Gujarat, Panchamhal, Baroda, Jharkhand, Singhbhum, Rajasthan, Banswara, Jharkhand, Dhanbad, Singhbhum, Giridih, West Bengal, Raniganj, Asansol, Chhattisgarh, Raigad, Odisha, Deshgarh, Talcher, Assam, Makum, Lakhimpur, Maharashtra, Chanda Chandrapur, Nagpur, Telangana, Singareni, Meghalaya, Jammu and Kashmir, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, Nyamchik, Namphuk, Jharkhand, Singhbhum, Hazaribagh, Rajasthan, Khetri, Junjunu, Bhilwala, Alwar and Sirohi, Maharashtra, Kolhapur, Karnataka, Chitaldurg, Hassan, Raichur, Madhya Pradesh, Balaghat, Andhra Pradesh, Agni-Gundal, Odisha, Jharkhand, Kodama, Hazaribagh, Bihar, Gaya and Munger, Maharashtra, Nagpur, Bandara and Ratnagiri, Rajasthan, Ajmer, Shahpur, Andhra Pradesh, Nellore, Madhya Andhra Pradesh, Nellore, Katni, Jharkhand Balaghat, Palamu, Jabalpur, Gujarat Chhattisgarh, Kedah, Bilaspur, Rajasthan 934. Important points in India. The petroleum oil is mainly found in sedimentary rocks. Natural gas is also found in Hugraijan Moran. Digboi is the oldest oil region in India. Vasudhara is the name of first oil well in Ankaleshwar. 1960, Mumbai High is 176 km from the Mumbai coast. From here the mineral oil is being extracted. Since 1976, the ship named Sagar Samrat was called from Japan to extract the oil from deep oceanic part of this region. Moreover, 60% of the total oil produced in the country is extracted from this region. Currently there are 21 refineries are functional in the country, of which 17 are from public sector, 3 are from private sector and 1 JV. India has 4th position in the production of iron ores in the world. China, Australia and Brazil holds 1st, 2nd and 3rd position consecutively. Although India has the largest reserve of iron ores in the world, Karnataka, Chhattisgarh and Odisha, Goa and Jharkhand are the top 5 producers of iron ore in India respectively. India has the 2nd largest reserves of manganese in the world after Zimbabwe. India holds the 5th position in the world in terms of the production of manganese. Top reserves of manganese in India are Odisha, 44%, Karnataka, 22%, Madhya Pradesh, 12%, Maharashtra, 7%, Goa, 7%, Andhra Pradesh, 4%, Jharkhand, 2%. India has third position in world coal production. The first three states in coal production in India are Jharkhand, 40%, Chhattisgarh, Odisha. Anthracite is the best quality of coal. Coal is also called black gold, and the bread of industries. Lignite is called brown gold. India. The first three states in copper production are Pradesh, Rajasthan and Jharkhand. Copper is also along with zinc from Zawar mines of Rajasthan. Rajasthan, the largest reserve of minerals is copper. Is self-reliant in terms of bauxite. Top producers of in India are Odisha, 15 place with 42%, Gujarat place, and Jharkhand, 3D place. Andhra Pradesh is the largest producer of mica in with 72% of total production, followed by Rajasthan. 935. Minerals location. Karnataka, Kolar, UT and Huppi gold mines, Hirabadini mines, Andhra Pradesh, Rangiri gold field, Anantapur, Telangana, Warangal, Tamil Nadu, Nilgiri, Salem, Jharkhand, East Singhbhum. Diamond Madhya Pradesh, Matkavan in Panna district, Satna. Rajasthan, Udaipur, Odisha, Jammu and Kashmir, Jharkhand, Ranchi, Hazaribagh, Magnesite Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh. Source, Indian 936. Important points. 99% of the total gold production in India comes from Karnataka itself, followed by Andhra Pradesh. The Kohinoor diamond was extracted from the Golconda mine in Andhra Pradesh. The diamond found here in Madhya Pradesh in veins in the fossilized Vindhyan rocks of pre-Cambrian rock are considered to be most valuable. Zawar mines, Rajasthan, first in zinc production, followed by J&K. Jharkhand is the largest producer of uranium in India. The most important uranium mine of India is Jadugoram mines, East Singhbhum. Largest reserve of magnesite, 68%, is in Uttarakhand. Rajasthan is the largest producer of silver in India. India is the largest producer of thorium and the largest thorium reserve of the world is in Kerala. Odisha is the largest producer of chromite. Major tungsten reserve is in Degana, Rajasthan. The largest lead reserves in India are found in Rajasthan. The largest lignite reserves in India are found in Tamil Nadu. Almost total production and reserve of tin is limited to Bastar district of Chhattisgarh. 937. Coal production in India. All India raw coal production increased from 565.77 metric ton in 2013 to 14 to 730.87 metric ton in 2019 to 20, an absolute increase of 165.1 metric ton as compared to increase of coal production of 73.01 metric ton between September 2008 and 2013 to 14. Major industries of India. Iron and steel industry. It is called the basic industry because it lays the foundation of rapid development of other industries such as heavy engineering, defense equipment, automobiles, etc. India has become the world's second largest producer of steel. India, after China, was the second largest crude steel producer, 75.69 metric ton, with a 6.1% share in total world production and a 4.4% growth in production over the same period of 2018. Source, India 2020. According to SEMA, Sponge Iron Manufacturers Association, Indian sponge iron industry which was started as late as in 1980s has come a long way. Today India is the largest sponge iron producer, 30 metric ton in 2018, in the world for last 16 consecutive years and contributes about 30% of the world production. Tata Iron and Steel Company, TISCO, established by Jamshedji Tata at the bank of Subarnarekha River in a place called Sachi, Singhbhum, Jharkhand, the then Bihar, is considered to be the first major establishment in this industry. In India. Iron and steel industries before independence. Place state EST year facts. Kulti West Bengal 1874 It and Steel was changed company into Bengal Iron 937. Place state EST year facts Sachi Bihar, now Jharkhand, 1907 Tata Iron and Steel Company was established by Jamshedji Tata. The modern iron and steel industry of India is supposed to have started from here. It was private sector company. Hepur West Bengal 1918 its name was Indian Iron and Steel Company. Bhadravati Karnataka 1923 earlier its name was Mysore Iron and Steel Company, which later changed to Vishweshwaraya Iron and Steel Works Limited. It was the first PSU company. Burnpur West Bengal 1937 Steel Corporation of Bengal was established which later merged into Indian Iron and Steel Company. Hepur is the earlier name of Burnpur. Iron and steel industries after independence industries established during second 5-year plan, 1956 to 61 Bhilai Steel Plant, it was established in 1955 in Bhilai, the then Madhya Pradesh, currently Indore district, Chhattisgarh, with the help of Soviet Union. Production was started here in 1959. Hindustan Steel Limited, Rourkela, it was established in 1959 with the help of West Germany in Rourkela in Odisha. Hindustan Steel Limited, Durgapur, it was established in 1956 with the help of Britain in Durgapur, West Bengal. Production was started here in 1962. Industries established during third 5-year plan Bokaro Steel Plant. This steel plant was set up 1964 at Bokaro with Russian collaboration, the then 939, Soviet of Transportation Union. This plant cost minimization was set up on the by principle creating Bokaro Rourkela region and combine the wagons it receives on return iron ore. Take from coal Tato established during 41H 15-year plan Salem Steel Plant. The Salem Steel Plant in Tamil Nadu was commissioned in 1982. Vishakhapatnam Steel Plant. The Vizag Steel Plant in Vishakhapatnam based plant which in started Andhra operating Pradesh in is 1992. The first port. Vijayanagar Steel Plant. The Vijayanagar Steel Plant at Hospete, Bellary district, in Karnataka was developed using indigenous technology. Steel Authority of India Limited, SAIL, after independence, during the second five-year plan, 1956-61, 3 new integrated steel plants were set up with foreign collaboration, Rourkela in Odisha, Bhilai in Chhattisgarh and Durgapur in West Bengal. These were public sector plants under Hindustan Steel Limited, HSL. On 24 January 1973, the Steel Authority of India Limited, SAIL, was created with a capital of Rs 2,000 crores to manage these plants. Aluminium Industry. The first aluminium industry in India was set up in 1937 near J.K. Nagar, Asansol in West Bengal. Further in 1938 the second industry was established at Muri, Bihar, now Jharkhand, Alwai, Kerala, Belur, WB, and Hirakud, Odisha. Subsequently the third industry of aluminium was established at Renukoot, UP, and the fourth industry was started by Madras Aluminium Company at Maithpur, Tamil Nadu. Hindustan Aluminium Corporation, Hindalco, was established at Renukoot, UP, in 1958. Its first real contribution to the vision of an industrial India occurred 4 years later, when G.D. Birla set up India's first integrated aluminium facility at Renukoot, in the eastern Uttar Pradesh, India. It was backed by a captive thermal power plant at Renuska in 1967. On 7 January 1981, National Aluminium Company was established with the purpose of production of alumina and aluminium. Its registered office is at Bhubaneswar, Odisha. The development is a Centre Jawahar of Excellence and Lal Design Nehru set Centre up in Aluminium, Janarad, 1989 as a joint research Nagpur venture of Ministry of Mines, Gov of India and UNDP. Company cooperating country major centres. Cotton industry. In 1854, the first modern cotton mill was established in Mumbai. 939, subsequently, 2 more mills, the Shahpur mill and the Calico mill were established in Ahmedabad. By 1947, the number of mills in India went up to 423 but the scenario changed after partition and this industry suffered a major recession. This was due to the fact that the most of the good quality cotton growing areas had gone to West Pakistan and India was left with 409 mills and only 29% of the cotton producing area. After independence, this industry gradually recovered and eventually flourished. The production of the organized sector has drastically fallen from 81% in the mid-20th century to only about 6% in 2000. Cotton is a pure, raw material which does not lose weight in the manufacturing process. After 1921, with the development of the railway network, other cotton textile centers expanded rapidly. In southern India, mills were set up at Coimbatore, Madurai and Bangalore. In central India, Nagpur, Indore, Solapur and Vadodara became cotton textile centers. Cotton textile mills were set up at Kanpur based on local investment. Mills were also set up at Kolkata due to its port facilities. Cotton is one of the most important cash crops in India and the country accounts for around 25% of the total global fiber production. In the raw material consumption basket of the Indian textile industry, the proportion of cotton is around 59%. Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu are the leading cotton producing states. Tamil Nadu has the largest number of mills and most of them produce yarn rather than cloth. The cotton textile industry is located in the cotton producing Telangana region, where most of the mills are spinning mills producing yarn. Jute industry. Jute is popularly known as golden fiber of Bengal. India is the largest producer of jute in the world with an average production of about 80 lakh bales of raw jute annually. This first factory of jute was established at Rishra, West Bengal, in 1855. The Jute Corporation of India has been set up in 1971 for its development and to manage import, export and the internal market. India is the second largest exporter of jute items after Bangladesh. India contributes 35% in the production of jute items. Important places related to jute industry state West Bengal Titagarh, Kankinara, Rishra, Uluberia, Bali, Serampore, Shibpur, Agrapara, Baj, Sialdah Bansaberia Bajbir, Havla, Shyamnagar, Lapur, Holinga, Barakpur Andhra Pradesh Vishakhapatnam, Guntur, Uttar Pradesh Kanpur, Sajjanv, Gorakhpur, North Bihar, International Pune, Katihar, Sahasa, Dabanga, HQ, Dhaka, was jute organization founded on 9 January 1984. 941, Sugar industry. The sugar industry is the second most important agro-based of industry both sugarcane in the country. And India cane is sugar the largest and producer contributes about 8% of the total sugar production in the world. This industry provides employment for more than 4 lakh persons directly and a large number of farmers indirectly. Development of the industry on modern lines dates back to 1903, when a sugar mill was started in Bihar. In 1840 the first sugar industry was set up in Bishar, Bihar but its actual production started in 1931 when protection of this industry was provided by the central government. In 1950-51, 139 factories were in operation. The number of sugar factories rose to 662 in 2010-11. Important places related to sugar industry state places. Maharashtra Mansar, Nashik, Ahmednagar, Pune Solapur, Kolhapur. Uttar Deoria, Bhatni, Padrona, Gorakhpur, Gauri Bazar. Pradesh Siswa, Basti, Balrampur, Barabanki, Sitapur, Hardoi, Bijnor, Meerut, Saharanpur, Moradabad, Bulandashar, Kanpur, Ayodhya, Faizabad, Muzaffarnagar, Lakhimpur Kheri, Gonda, Bahraich, Ghaziabad, Bagpat Bihar Motihari, Sugoili, Majoli, Champatia, Narkatiyaganj, Marhura, Sasmusa, Motipur, Gopalganj, Dalmia Nagar, Saran, Samastipur, Darbhanga, Champaran, Hasanpur, Siwan, Gaya West Bengal Beldanga, Palashi, Palasi Plus Se, Havla, Murshidabad Punjab Gurdaspur, Jalandhar, Sangarur, Patiala and Amritsar, Hamira, Fagwara Haryana Yamuna Nagar, Rohtak, Hisar, Faridabad, Jagdari Tamil Nadu Coimbatore, Vellore, Tirunmalai, Villupuram, Madurai, Alkot, Tiruchirappalli Andhra Sitapuram, Pithapuram, East Godavari, West Godavari, Pradesh Vishakhapatnam, Karnataka Hospete, Bilgavi, Ballari, Mandya, Shimoga, Vijaypura, Chitradurg Rajasthan Ganganagar, Gopal Sagar Telangana Nizamabad, Medak. Gujarat Surat, Junagadh, Amreli, Valsad, Bhavnagar Maharashtra has emerged as a leading sugar producer in the country and produces more than one-third of the total production of sugar in the country. Uttar Pradesh is the second largest producer of sugar. India State of Forest Report 2019 on 31st December 2019. The biennial India State of Forest Report, ISF, published by the Forest Survey of India, FSI, was released. Starting from 1987, 16 assessments have been completed so far. ISF 2019 is the 16th report in the series. The total forest cover of the country is 7,12,249 sq km, which is 21.67% of the geographical area of the country. The tree cover of the country is estimated as 95,027 sq km, which is 2.89% of the geographical area. The total forest and tree cover of the country is 8,07,276 sq km, which is 24.56% of the geographical area of the country.